Wow guys, Colex just came out and I bet you're wondering, is this episode better than Billcord? Absolutely not. But I think I may enjoy it a little more than Billcord. So before you all grab your torches and pitchforks, I would like to remind you that this is just my opinion. I still love Billcord. A lot, actually. But this matchup has one thing its predecessor doesn't. Characters I really, really like. That's not to say I don't like Bill in Discord, I do. But they never really imprinted on me when I was younger. Cole and Alex, on the other hand, have. I remember coming home from school on some days and just watching gameplay of Infamous and Prototype. And I love these series, so naturally, I love this episode a lot. But let's actually talk about it to see why I love it so much. So, starting off with the analyses, and I gotta start off negative. I don't really like how they start. The pacing is completely whack. It moves way too fast for its own good, just like Shadow the Hedgehog. But outside of that, these analyses are great. I didn't actually mind the Shadow the Hedgehog joke. It wasn't that bad in my opinion. Yeah, it is another case of, oh, this thing is just like this other thing, but given that these guys are kinda edgy, mainly Alex, I'll let it slide for now. And I actually like all the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man stuff and how it's used in the episode. I mean, yeah, the Billy Maguire dance is always funny, and the scream is just gonna make me laugh every time I see it. It's just that great. Even if it is paired up with a fart joke. Actually, that makes it funnier. But what I really like is how they use the great power comes great responsibility quote to show how different the characters really are. They use it normally when they talk about Cole's sacrifice to show how it was his character that really made him a good hero, and then they turn it into the great power became great terror quote when they talked about how much of a nut Alex really is. And I really like that. It shows us how different they are in terms of a character, and I think that is just really cool. There are other jokes I like in these analyses. I like the E equals MC squared joke in Cole's analysis. Wiz getting ready to geek out about science only for Boomstick to just say no is funny. The Boomstick toasty joke is funny. I'm always down for a Mortal Kombat joke. And Boomstick quoting Hello's fucking weird fucking ramblin' shit is also really funny. But that's just because Heller is funny when he's mad. Speaking of jokes, the cutaways are fine. I like the one in Cole's analysis with Anti-Boomstick, or as my friend who calls him, Boomstank. But I'm sorry, I didn't really like the evil Wiz gag. It wasn't that funny to me. It just didn't work for me personally. Oh, and Wiz said that's right, Boomstick, so this episode's immediately a 10 out of 10. And of course, I'd be remiss not to mention this, but I fucking love the Linkin Park Kirby joke. Yes, I am biased, and no, you cannot change my mind. And then they brought it back when Boomstick said, live by the Kirby symbiote, die by the Kirby symbiote. And that mixes two of my favorite characters into one joke, and I love it so much. Just like the endings to their analyses. Epic segue there. Not only do we get to see Delsin, my boy, at the end of Cole's analyses, but I love how they talk about how he was an inspiration to future generations, and they say that his actions were, quote, a true testament to the responsibility of power, end quote. Again, bringing back that great power comes great responsibility quote. I like that. And then in Alex analyses, I love how Boomstick questions if Alex was really just a virus after all his actions, as they sort of made him more of a human than thought possible. It's a very philosophical ending, and I like that for Alex's character. So yeah, these analyses were pretty good. Really, the only bad things were the rushed openings and the lack of interesting edits. But given the fact that the last episode was Billcord, I can let it slide just this once. It actually feels a lot more like a Season 2 or 3 episode, and I think that works for it given how old this matchup is. That's probably just me trying to justify something, but it's there. Also, apparently some people felt like Cole and Alex got disrespected in their analyses. I personally didn't feel like they did because neither character nor series got actively shat on outside of the opening, where Boomstick called out the fact that they weren't really relevant anymore, which is technically true given that these guys haven't had a new installment since the early 2010s. But like, outside of that, I didn't really notice any bitterness towards either character. Okay, now let's talk about the fight. And I have basically no problems with it whatsoever, aside from a few minor instances of jank. But then again, every 3D episode has instances of jank, so it isn't really that much of a problem anymore. It's like bad CGI. It's gonna happen, and that won't hinder my enjoying of it whatsoever. So the fight starts off with a POV shot of two helicopters, presumably Blackwatch, flying around the city. Where are they flying? Well, given that Alex seems to have caused a massive massacre in the middle of public, I'm assuming to his location. Unfortunately for them, however, Alex snags them out of the air and opens them up ready to consume the pilots inside. The POV shot is still going before Cole pulls an Alucard and interrupts Alex before he can consume the pilot. This is a really cool opening, as it puts us in the shoes of someone who's about to be consumed by Alex, showing us how much of a threat he can really be. I really like the over-the-shoulder camera angle before Alex says his first line. It really makes us feel like a proper standoff. I also really like Alex starting off with his tendrils to attack Cole, and then Cole dodging them all. It looks really smooth. Like, this must have taken forever to make look right, and it genuinely looks really good. Cole really feels like he has a lot of weight to him instead of just being weightless. Speaking of weightless, Alex grabs Cole and fucking yeets him! And as of writing this, Cole's scream was completely removed from the episode. Now, I am writing this on Sunday when the episode is out for Death Battle members, so hopefully the scream will be put back in the YouTube release, because it was really funny and I'm very sad that they took it away. Anyway, Alex uses his tendril barrage devastator, and Cole just fucking rail grinds on it like, say it with me, Shadow the Hedgehog. Also, this is genius. I love how they seamlessly mixed in Cole's parkour move with his combat at some points. That is such a cool idea. Alex then gets a face full of electricity, and as soon as Cole lands, Alex uses his cannonball move to smack Cole in the face. I'm not making another Shadow the Hedgehog comparison, I'm done with that. Cole gets smacked into a wall, and Alex uses the whip fist and blade to try to get closer and stab Cole. I also love his little evil laugh here, it is hilarious. This could also kind of be conveyed as somewhat of a Chekhov's gun, as Alex tries to get close and stab Cole with the blade so he can try to consume him. Well, presumably at least. Showing off how smart Alex is. That's probably not what they're going for, but that would be cool if it's true. Cole parkours up the side of the building, again showing off his epic parkour skills with a Z. And then Alex just straight up runs up the side of the building, because that's one of his abilities, and that's just funny. I love the sheer difference in their approaches to the building, it's great. The low angle shot of Alex and Cole on the side of the building is so cool, as is the brief little sword fight with the blade and the amp. Cole then throws Alex away, but Alex rebounds with his glide and air dash and smacks Cole away. Cole then freezes Alex in place, and we get this amazing tracking shot of Cole using the amp to toss Alex into a nearby building. Oh my god, I love that shot so much. Cole freezes Alex again, but Alex blows himself up from the looks of it and regenerates in the shadows, which looks really cool. Just like this awesome shot of Alex staring Cole down with his badass looking red eyes. That is so cool, I just wish it lingered for a little bit longer. Alex runs at Cole and grabs him by the face before throwing him onto the roof of another building. That's gotta be a reference to Prototype's throwing mechanics, how could it not be? Alex then uses his tendrils to grab more helicopters and he throws them at Cole. Then he picks up Optimus Prime and throws him at Cole too. I'm kidding, of course, but it does look a little like Prime's vehicle mode a bit. Cole creates a tornado, a Cole-nado, and Alex grabs onto the truck he threw at Cole to get closer to him, and then he pounces on Cole with his claws. That's just cool. Alex then pulls a Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie, and he tries to convince Cole to work with him. Cole tells him to promptly get stuffed and uses a big fuck-off lightning bolt to zap him away. We then get a fight between Cole using his lightsaber hands against an armored-up Alex. And can I just say, the track here goes so unbelievably hard on this one scene. I'll talk about the track a little later, but this moment is definitely amplified by the track. See what I did there? Because Cole's weapon is called Amp. I'm sure you all laughed at home. You would never leave me hanging, would you? Oh, you did? Anyway, back on track. The Cole versus Armored Alex fight is phenomenal. Cole is a lot faster and landing a lot of hits, but he's doing very little damage because of how physically durable Alex is. Meanwhile, Alex feels like he's putting his all into his attacks because he's a lot heavier and physically tougher in this state, but he's not landing as many hits as Cole is. And when Cole rushes in, and he manages to push back Alex, sure, but Alex just grabs him and prepares to do a bullet drop consume combo. Alex then stabs Cole in this really awesome shot and begins to try absorbing his biomass and take his power. But, to his surprise, Cole busts out of his tendrils and begins to absorb Alex's bioelectricity. Cole slams Alex on the ground, vaporizing Alex at the atomic level, and we end the animation with the final low-angle shot of Cole standing in the city. Man, that animation was so freaking good. This episode may not have been as big of a deal as Billcord, which, you know what, actually kind of sucks considering how much the community has wanted this matchup for fucking God knows how long. But hot damn, I think it left the same impact as Billcord. Yeah, I said it. I think Colex is on par with Billcord. Sure, Billcord had a lot more creativity in the fight, but that was because they literally had characters who turned reality into their own personal playground. So for a more grounded matchup, I think Colex did phenomenal. I guess my only real complaint is that I wish they went a lot further with the, oh, we were supposed to be doing this a while ago, but now we're only doing it just now joke. Like how Billcord went ham with the fourth wall breaking. But, man, Colex was still awesome. And so is the post-analysis. It starts off by going into what categories the two were even in, and then going into their advantages, mainly Cole's, since he had a lot more. I also like how they cover all their bases by covering evil Cole versus Alex. They didn't have to do that at all, but they did. And the post-analysis ends with Boomstick trying to rip their old script in half. That's just pretty funny. So yeah, Colex is a banger. While I don't think it's superior to Billcord, I don't think it's inferior either. I'd say it's on par with it. And before anyone gets on my case and says, oh, why are you comparing it to Billcord so much? Let's be real, this episode came out after Billcord, of course it's going to be compared to it. Anyway, let's talk about the other good things like the voice acting. Paul Guyett does amazing as Cole. I love his voice in this episode so much. And ya boy Kevin Rivera slays it as Alex. Even if his voice reminds me of Dimitri a bit. Seriously, at some points, I think I might even make a comparison video comparing their lines. It's pretty funny. The track is also really good. It's phenomenal. Inhuman is 100% my new favorite track of the season. I love it so much. The music, the lyrics, all of it is just so good, and it works really well in that one scene because it just, I love it so much. So what score would I give it? Probably another 9.9 out of 10. So far, Billcord and Colex are at the top of my rankings for Season 10. A few of my other rankings have gone down. Antum is still at an 8 out of 10. Josenborn is still at a 9 out of 10. Kilusaka has moved down to a 7 out of 10. Rockage has moved down to just a 9 out of 10. Vedito is just still at an 8.5 out of 10. Gene Raven has moved down to a 7 out of 10. I have no idea why I gave it a 9 in the first place. Dimitri has moved into a 9. Martian Surfer has moved up slightly to a 7.5 out of 10. It was hard carried by the ending. And Billcord is still sitting pretty at a 9.9. So, yeah. Peak fiction they are. You know what isn't, though? The next time. I'm sorry, but despite this being a Transformers matchup with one of my favorite villains of all time and one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters of all time, I do not like Frieza vs. Megatron. It just doesn't work for me personally. But you know what? At least it's another Transformers matchup, so I'll take any win I can get. I just hope they use the scaling from IDW because G1 Megatron gets dog-walked by the entire Dragon Ball verse. It's, like, not even funny. yeah, I don't really have any big hopes for this episode. Just please don't be bad, and please don't screw up Megatron's characterization. So yeah, that's really it. Anyway, what did you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. And ring the bell if you want to see any more of my videos in the future. Follow me on my socials in the description and check out Lucariboi's review. Also, go watch our reaction to the episode. Both of those will be in the description below. I should also probably mention that I have a new video that's a cross-promotion with Lucariboi. He's making his own video on the PS4 Spider-Man game, and I'm making one on the entire Kirby series and why I love it so much. So go check those out when they release. Anyway, with that in mind, I'll see you later, Cap Nation. Bye-bye!